Greetings, nerds, geeks, and gamers of all kind. Nate the Nerdarchy here from Nerdarchy for nerds by nerds, hanging out with a nerd.
I am Kienata, and tonight we are going to be showing you something amazing and cool and new and fun, the World Anvil. And that is how we're going to be working to create creatures and monsters and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yes. From now on, I plan on using World Anvil. We're going to give it a few test runs on the stream to see how much it jives with what we've got planned and what we're doing. And to start it all off, I wanted to show you guys and gals the Cuddle Seal. And that is a monstrosity we made back in the Credgefor's Belt Monster Mash. And this is how it looks in World Anvil. You've got our little video that links directly to when we started talking about the Cuddle Seal in the Monster Mash video. We've got the name, we've got what the type, you know, normal stuff you see. But these cool things, these cool features, I hope it shows up in the lower right-hand corner. Let's see.
It looks pretty good.
I think I'm in the way of it.
It's
anyway,
okay.
If I roll enough, okay, so let's say you want to make a strength check. It'll eventually show up. There we go. So basically, you just click on the box, the red box next to it, and it rolls the check for you. Or it rolls your hit dice. So let's say you got 3 monsters, you want to roll them up. You can just boom, boom, boom. They've all got different hit points, and you're ready to rock. And we've basically got everything. Oops, I didn't. As you can see, I did not change over from the octopus to Cuddle Seal. So there's a little editing. I get my editor on that. And
we're going to have some work in progress going on with anything that gets thrown up here.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Everything's going to be work in progress. Basically, until it's like until you get a like finished product thing, it's definitely all work in progress, flying by the seat of our pants, and working on it through the additions of what we got. So anyway, another cool thing is if you wanted to just roll the bite attack, you'd be like, bam, 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 I bit you. And overall, I don't know how to clear these out.
Nate, could you turn yourself up like 10% more 10% for me?
10% too low?
Yeah, you're just a little low.
All right.
And I'll listen in just a second.
Okay. Hopefully.
And hi, everyone.
So I've covered up my beautiful Cuddle Seal. I got to get rid of these now.
I know. As soon as those disappear, but as you guys can see from that function, basically you can just hammer random things. And this was really easy to build. You're actually going to see how to put all this together tonight if we can remember how to do everything.
It's easy enough, and I've done enough, like, I don't know, I'd say minimum blog experience. And if you've used Homebrewery before, you kind of have the idea that there's something going on. What is it? Is there you can do CSS, right?
Yes, you can do CSS. You can do BB code. There's endless possibilities. Just CSS. There's endless possibilities for ways that you could structure things once you've finished writing them and building stats and stuff to make stuff look absolutely gorgeous.
And speaking of absolutely gorgeous,
yes,
here is the Cuddle Seal by the Mighty Hob, and he did this really quick for us when we just were describing what we thought the Cuddle Seal was. I guess he got inspired, sketched it out, and then later added color and put it up in our Discord chat. So it's really neat. Really cool of him to do that. And another thing is, one little thing here, we got like the Arctic seas. That's kind of where it hangs out. And but I think I'm gonna have to put like where it roams or its range or what's that called? Environment or something. I'll have to put
environment.
Yeah.
Biome.
Biomes. Yes, biomes. Like that's a Minecraft gamer term, I think. But it works.
That's actually biomes like really common to be used in video games right now, especially survival games. So.
It's Minecraftian. Who knows who did it first, but I just remember it from Minecraft. So another cool thing about the World Anvil feature is anytime you want to reference this block, is what they call it. Anytime you want to reference this block, you can just say, oh, I want to copy it. And it's like, oh, I copied the block to your clipboard. Thanks. I clicked on the wrong thing. So you can also make a block link to it. And then you can just drop that in other aspects of it, and you can link everything together. So if I wanted to, I could, if I had another Arctic creature, but instead, let's say this: I'm gonna do a block link. So I copied that to the clipboard, and then I have another critter that I have.
Nerded or Doug is here to help us not sound silly. He said a biome is a real thing. And James Leslie probably nailed it, said, were you going for habitat there, Nate?
Something like that. Science. Science. So
Sciencey words.
I've done the Cuddle Seal, and the reason why the name looks weird is because the YouTube link to it directly is in. That's how you kind of like figure it out. But anyway, there's my Cuddle Seal, and here's the Blizzard Beast. So if I wanted to edit the Blizzard Beast...
It's all behind me.
Oh, it's all behind you?
Mm-hmm.
It was fine for me. Yeah, okay, thank you for letting me know. So here's the Blizzard Beast in the back office and how we've added everything in. So let's say I would like to reference the Cuddle Seal. I will go all the way down. Sorry about all the roller coaster. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So I can go down and say... where am I going to put it?
You can do this.
I
believe in you.
I don't know where I want to put it, but let's say I will put it in, where is the regions?
well, he's looking for that.
There.
We received a huge amount of help from the community over at World Anvil. They have a Discord, they have a website, they have a Patreon. We're going to talk about like the different features and the different things you can do with it later, and we are going to be monster mashing 2 different things tonight, but yes, because we're switching from home breweries 1-page setup to this, which we're so madly in love with this.
Yes.
So madly in love with
so this. What I've shoved it in legendary action. There's better places to put it, but for right now I just wanted to show the thing, and then we'll move on to actually the monster mashing. So I just put it here where you've got access to a link to the other thing, and excuse me, I'll rename it later at some point, but basically now when I talk about the Blizzard Beast, I can just insert discussion on the Cuddle Seal as like the next thing over. But for right now I'm going to leave that be, and we're going to head back to where did I go? We're going to create nightmare fuel. Yes.
Do we want to start with we can talk about more World Anvil features as we get further.
Let's do a little bit of that. For example, there are different blocks, and what I used was the blocks for monsters, but over here you can see there's a drop down menu, and can you not see the drop down menu and the
it may not show up because it's just going to pick up the basic web page.
Yeah, you know what? It's not showing up in OBS. Yeah. All right. Yeah. There's a magical drop-down menu. I'll describe it for you. And
I'll describe it in vivid detail.
So what it is, you have everything from backgrounds to spells to races to NPC types, Etheric tables, items, feats, and classes, and monsters. So we're going to only care about monsters for right now. So
whoa, you froze for me, Nate. There we go.
Oh, just a little hiccup.
Okay, we're good.
And so we're going to focus on monsters for right now. And one of the things I wanted to do was kind of get into... They've got like funny little things like Disco Dragon and what it is. But one of the things that we talked about was the BB code references. That goes on the side. It has all of the references for you.
It's very simple. It just helps you get your formatting down and make things look pretty.
So tomorrow, Kienata, Doug, Megan R. Miller, one of the authors for the Nerdarchy site, Puffin Forest from the Puffin Forest channel, Anthony Amato, if he can make it, from Cardboard
He just
Fortress.
Makes me think of Yamato Cruiser. Every time you say his name.
Yeah, I think of Yamato too. I'm watching that. The spaceship Yamato, 2199 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Now I forget.
Nerditor Doug.
Yes.
Megan Miller.
Yep.
The author. Nerditor Doug. The Nerditor. Anthony.
Yep.
Yamato Cruiser.
No.
From Cardboard Fortress Games.
I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right.
Ben.
From Puffin Forest.
From Puffin Forest.
Megan.
Oh, and us.
And
we already
us.
said.
That's what. I think I listed myself first. I thought I missed somebody. Yes. So we're all going to be doing Spelljammer tomorrow. 1:30 Eastern Standard Time to about 3:30 or so. We'll figure out the times exactly. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be about a 2-hour slot. And so I was like, you know what? I want to do stuff in space to kind of do a Spelljammer thing. But Kienata said we should do something a little more just for everybody. So
I want everyone to be able to use it.
And I said, all right. So it can be wingless dragons and zombie plague in space.
In space. Oh, and special bonus. I will
not.
be in costume tomorrow for my game.
You will be. It'll be cool looking. So
you couldn't be in costume.
Well, yeah, because then other people wouldn't know who I was.
Who's DMing? The one and only Nerded or Doug. Who else? Yes. The best games master on the planet will be running the game. Factual statement. Do not argue with me. No.
All right. Well, we can tell who you like. So, he's going to be running the game. So what we said was we're going to sit down and we're going to make some things that could be used in or out of space, in or out of Spelljammer, but still would look really cool in Spelljammer. And I always feel that space needs zombies and zombies need space. So
yes.
So I feel like some type of zombie plague, or it can be anything that makes a zombie. So it could be some kind of weird curse. It could be some kind of, ideally it would be a monster because it's Monster Mash.
If you remember, Nate and I had a bit of an exchange. You may even be able to say a squabble last time I brought up zombies, because I said in my game, zombies bite people and infect you.
Yeah,
and
like hocus pocus.
Nate said, no, unacceptable. So I really like the idea of doing, I guess the first thing we really need to decide on, slower, fast zombies. Fast zombies are terrifying, but represent some problems.
Yeah, because you can't slowly build up to they're surrounding us, they're going to get us, we've got to run away. Because if they can actually chase you down and bite you, it's kind of, you don't have that. How can you stumble and fall and get back up and live? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that was what was that movie, like 28 Days Later or something like that? I don't remember what it was. Was that the name?
28 Days Later with the fast zombies.
In 28 Days Later, the zombies were literally the same run speed as like a horse. Like you're not getting away from that. That thing would like tackle you off your mount. So maybe we could come up with something in the middle. I kind of like slow zombies better, if only because of the fact that really lends itself to the concept that people have survived. That there are survivors.
All right. So what do you think about, there's this thing called a yellow musk zombie. I think it's from Tome of Annihilation. And it's a yellow musk creeper, which is like a necro vine. And it's got flowers and it looks kind of pretty, but it makes zombies.
Okay. I was given an idea by chat, very indirectly, but some individuals feel as though the title for tonight's stream is misleading.
Okay.
And Russet Man in Twitch chat said, I thought it was going to be a plague of wingless zombie dragons.
Huh.
So rather than deviate from our
wingless dragon. I should have probably had a comma there. I'm missing a comma.
Well, rather than deviate from our path, what if we make our new kind of zombie and then we make an infection template?
Okay.
Then we can make our dragon, and if you'd like to use the infection template on our wingless dragon, you can do it.
I think that will still make it so that we didn't lie. That would be good.
Yeah.
And it sounds really cool.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. So we've got a few ways of infection. We've got, by plant, I'd say by spore or like virus floating in the air. And then we've got,
no plants.
Touch.
I veto plants.
Okay. Touch and then damage. So there's like contact plague where like the zombie touches you, you're going to probably get the plague. There's bite, which is, I feel like, classic zombie.
We should do something different.
Okay.
We should make this interesting.
Should we make it like Bodax? If the zombie looks at you, you make it. You have to make a Constitution save.
You got looked at funny. You're a zombie.
Yeah.
What?
Well, hey, Bodax could kill you with a stare. So.
Wait,
Bodak.
let's. That is. I want to make this. I want to make this inner. What is it? What has nobody done before? What about Agent Smith zombies?
Agent Smith zombies. So a
You
computer
remember?
virus?
You remember how he like stuck his hand in people and would
Yeah,
turn them into a copy of himself?
Yeah,
You
but
remember?
that's pretty much like that's like high tech version of I bite you and you become a zombie.
What if the zombies just have like black ooze in them, and then if they grapple you, the ooze gloops onto the person, and then that person can become infected and become a zombie, but they have to successfully grapple you.
So I'm seeing like dozens of X-Files fly through my mind.
Well, no idea's original. We got to do something here.
Wait. You said let's do something no one's ever done before, and then said the next sentence, let's copy X-Files.
The zombies infect people by shooting flowers at them. Boom, winner. Nobody's ever done that before.
They do a special dance, like Oompa Loompa or something,
and flowers shoot out.
Yes, and then they're pregnant with a zombie baby. That's it, right? No.
Sentient ooze. We've got Stink Fox said sentient ooze, which is slime mold zombies. A blue diamond. I don't know if I said your name right. Said laser beam zombie eyes. There you go. I don't like that idea, but that's an idea. Here we go. Russet Man said, yeah, if you get too much zombie Iker on you, you could become a zombie. We could use like a series of attacks, a successful grapple. I like the idea of like the ooze is doing it.
I made fun of you for saying those two things together, but I like the ooze. I gotta say I like the ooze. All right. I'm not saying it's something no one ever done before, but I do like the ooze. So, what do you say we grab a zombie?
Yeah.
Or a yambi, as my son calls them.
Yambis. This is awesome.
Because the ooze is almost like their blood, I kind of want to take the strawed zombie as our base template here. It's a challenge rating 1. I think if you sever a limb, it's like a crawling hand or crawling arm at that point. They're definitely they're an upgrade from the
So we're saying
zombie.
the ooze is the controlling factor, and a hacked off arm is still, you can cut a wolf's head off, but it can still bite.
Because I think someone mentioned slime mold, and slime molds together, I think don't they act like a more intelligent or colony kind of mentality? So
I like this.
I want to, zombie with the loathsome limbs.
I approve of your life choices, sir.
All right, so that's the thing. It's happening. So
Raven Thylacine said, "Fun guys, zombies," because they're all just a bunch of fun guys. Dad joke. Here's the first one. I opened.
Ding.
You guys are welcome to hop in with us. Jan said, "Bite, spit, ooze, virus, nanobot, radiation."
All right, so we're gonna slap this in the special ability, and now I have to say it's a harder read for presentation purposes, but I like the finished product overall, and we can also expand this, give us a little more.
I like Patrick Keller's thoughts here. First, they look normal, but when you injure them, then they start oozing. So it just looks like a group of zombies coming at you, and you hack an arm off, and then the black tarry ichor comes out, oozing out everywhere, and the arm keeps moving, and you're like, this just got more complicated.
Yes, very much so. And so we've got the ooze quality to it. I like the until the zombie's destroyed, its bits are moving. So we've got the loathsome limbs. That's going to be there. Now, the loathsome limbs, there's like an upgrade from the zombie fortitude, but it does not have the zombie fortitude. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick to help people behind the scenes to get a look into where Nate's brain is right now, and what you're doing as far as World Anvil is concerned and constructing this. You're referencing stuff and then pasting in the things you need from other creatures.
Yes. So I selected Strawed Zombie to start. So our base creature is Strawed Zombie, and I'm snagging the Loathsome Limbs feature from that. Their special ability. So,
D&D Beyond?
Yes, that's what I'm using currently.
D&D Beyond.
I think okay. There are ways to reference SRD material that's available for use, and especially if you're a creator and you wanted to make something for use further down the line, that would be something you can snag from like different monsters. So there's an SRD available for access through World Anvil. Like World Anvil, you can like look for those parts. But I'm not familiar with that feature, but I do know D&D Beyond, so that's what I'm using right now. But I didn't want to say, well, I'm using it because I don't have another option. I do have another option, I'm just not that good at that other option right now. So I just want to like disclose that for everybody, so they know.
Also, if you want a copy of the SRD, which is the open gaming license version of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, because you have some form of nefarious scheme going, you can just download it off the WotC site and grab yourself a PDF of it for free. So there you go.
Yeah, so
there are so many concepts coming out. Nerditor Doug said, "Okay, fine, I'll keep Space Madness zombies for myself."
Oh no, I'm with you on the Space Madness, but we're making it just
everyone.
Everyone can share in this zombie madness.
Everyone can get a piece of this. And the really cool thing about this is accessibility. As soon as this is done, we have a paid account, right? Nerdarchy has a paid account.
Yes.
And the price, you will be very happy to hear, is $3.
Yeah, if you wanted to get into World Anvil and start creating things on, if you wanted the option to make things private, because you can make a free account, it's just out there in the open for people. So if you wanted to like kind of keep stuff close to the chest, and only do stuff or like have subscribers or other things like that set aside, that would be a completely different situation in which you'd want to pay for an account. But you can also do there are other features like everything that has a free and a paid for. You get what you paid for. Yep. Free is cool, but there are some things and features that are nice with the $3 one. And I think there's like co-authors. Like right now, Kienata is a co-author on the Nerdarchy site. I mean the Nerdarchy World Anvil, so he could go in there and alter these. Hey, why aren't you doing this? No, you're monitoring chat and stuff. That's why
I am monitoring chat. Because I am trying to send. There we go. I was sending James Leslie a giant pile. James, I sent you a giant pile of links that you can use in chat. Merry Christmas. That took up a whole page. Sorry for the spam, buddy. But yeah, basically for $3 you get access to a ton of stuff. One of the things that was a little that was interesting for me was you can have subscribers, and those subscribers, it's not the same as like a follower. You could have tons and tons of people that view your articles and tell you they love you and your articles are the best. Or you can have a few subscribers, say for instance, your gaming group. Those people get access to, you can essentially embed hidden information if you'd like to. Those people see that hidden information or have access to the things that you've marked top secret for your eyes only. So you can do any of that stuff with it.
So you can also send secret, information to one person. And so exactly. it's a neat kind of separatory thing. So as a campaign builder and as a world builder, you can look at it like, well, I don't want all my players knowing all this information, so I'm going to like cut it off from cut their access off at certain points.
Mm-hmm.
So
I blew up James Leslie's internet.
Oh no! Did you knock him off the internet?
Yeah, I just sent him like all the World Anvil information. So if we hit on something, you can definitely throw that up, or if anyone asks for it, it'll be easier to get to.
And something I'm doing right here is basically the code for when you want to roll things. So that's done through this.
And I would remind everyone that if you have questions, if you're like, this CSS is a scary word, or BB code makes you feel like something's going to be complicated, if you don't move the screen for a moment, Nate, everything, did you really? Why are you doing this? Everything over
right here. I didn't move it at all.
Is BB code.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's very simple to add in. We'll probably get to add some of this in as we're creating this creature.
Yeah, so you got brackets with B, brackets /B for bold, like what you want bold, I for italics, U for underline. Some,
And I know we're kind of like gushing about World Anvil, but it's been this like process of discovery for us for
yes.
the last like month and a half, 2 months, where we're just madly in love with it. And when you see how awesome things look, like you saw how awesome the Cuddle Seal looked when it was done, it's just incredible and empowering because you could just share it with everybody. Okay, I'm sorry. Done. Go ahead. Done. Evil Black Zombies.
Yes. We've done most of the
I want a kill it with fire.
Okay, you want yeah. Absolutely.
And so the normal zombie has the you hit me and I went down to 1 hit point. This thing has lop an arm off and the arm's still alive.
Yes.
I feel like it shouldn't get both.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even though I wanted to give it both.
I want it to be interesting, and I want it to be something that like the fight or flight response hits the player where they're like, oh God, why is it oozing black stuff? Everyone just run.
Oh.
You know, what if you make it immune to turn undead?
Immune to turn undead?
Because it's not technically.
Oh, this is zombies with the power of science.
Yes. Yes. Good.
Pipes.
Because then you can have that moment, you guys will love this, where you're running the game and your cleric or paladin goes, I call on the power of my deity to turn you, evil thing. And they go, Murr, and keep walking forward.
Are we going with monstrosity here?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Not
yeah.
undead. All right.
I don't want it to. I think if we skip the undead thing, we kind of. There's nothing wrong with cutting your players off at the knees every once in a while. Just keep them on their toes. Get it?
All right. Well, I have pretty much filled in a good amount of the information. Yeah, but not everything's going to stay. So I just wanted to kind of get the base in so that we can then manipulate it. So we've got the stratified zombie here, but we've made it a monstrosity and we called it zombie plague.
Sweet.
And as of right now, we're saying challenge rating 1 because that's kind of what the base thing is. We got the loathsome limbs. Now, I liked your kill it with fire. I enjoy the idea that they have a vulnerability, and fire is a vulnerability that really hurts because fire is one of the most used damages. That's not like I hit it with my axe.
Very
it's
quickly,
like fire,
for anybody,
poison, and like physical attacks is the 5 majors.
For anybody in chat, if you're clicking on one of the links that's provided and you get a 404, you can blame YouTube. It does this. Just keep clicking the link. Be persistent. It'll work.
Oh, really? That's all you have to do? That's like turning the computer off and on again about 5 times and then it works?
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
No, 5 times.
5?
Not 4 or 3.
Excellent. There we go.
All right. So I say kill it with fire. I like that. And I'm thinking about, the cold places in space where you don't have a lot of oxygen. So fire's not that easy to come by. But I think it's a cool idea to be able to kill these things with it. And we could just say, well, the ooze that controls the things is temperature sensitive. It can't handle the heat.
Okay, question.
Sure.
This is from Nerdarchy Doug.
Sure.
How about regeneration?
Like trollish regeneration if it is not on fire? Like that kind of thing?
If we take away the ability for it to get like normal zombies have the ability, for anybody who doesn't know, you all know that if you smack the zombie, it might just drop to 1 hit point. Instead, we're going to give it if you smack the zombie, it could regenerate. Now, we would have to put in some stipulations to this because if you whack off an arm, it's not going to grow a new arm. Or is it?
Well, I mean, that would be an interesting way for it to reproduce.
Oh, it really is a plague now. Well, the reason we were overtaken by the zombie horde is because there was only 2 of them. And my soldiers attacked and chopped them into a million little bits. And before they could get fire to light them up, there were 50 zombies. Things didn't go well. Kind of progressed from there.
Yeah, it definitely went downhill from there.
Okay.
I like the idea of regeneration. That's a scary thing because then it's almost like, how there's some things where it's just like, all right, you need holy water to stop its regeneration so it doesn't murder us all over and over again. Well, if you had to kill these things with fire, pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
Or you're gonna have a bad day. I think that's cool. I think I like that idea. So I'm
Patrick
fine
Keller's attacking this from the Akira Fist of the North Star anime direction. Patrick Keller said, if you take off an arm, the ooze stretches and reconnects, pulling it back together. I just like the idea of the ooze, like kind of like you have an arm on the ground and the arm is crawling towards you, and while it's crawling towards you, the ooze is kind of knitting back together a brand new zombie. And that's when you realize that fire is good.
Yes,
fire
we
is
must
a good
have fire to kill it with fire. All right, I've grabbed regeneration from trolls, some of the strongest regeneration known to D&D, and I'm slapping it in here.
Oh, that's two people that have brought it up. Jan said instead of growing a new arm, their arm crawls back and reattaches. We're starting to see a trend here.
Yeah, and I'd say that's what I feel like trolls can do that. Right?
Do trolls do that?
I don't know, but let's alter some limbs to say that. So
okay.
Let's see. Zombie reduced to 0 hit points. All parts of it die. I don't like that part. Let's get rid of that.
Remember that we want this to still be challenge rating. Well, I guess we don't care what the challenge rating is.
It's
right?
a 1 right now, but I added regeneration, so it's definitely getting bumped up. It's definitely getting bumped up.
There will be a change. I guess we had some interesting questions. I don't really think that's a thing, but Andrew Jackson said, can the black ooze shape change independently from the host like John Carpenter's thing? I think we should avoid the ooze having any form of mobility or action on its own.
Because it requires the host. It's like parasitic in nature. It requires the host to do stuff. Otherwise, it wouldn't need it. It could just go around as an ooze. And while I was thinking it could, this is not my final form. It could have a secondary form.
No.
I was just thinking about it, that it could just be like a black pudding or something as a secondary form. Or that evil darkness thing that killed Tasha Yar in Star Trek. If you wanted to up the challenge rating.
Did you even reference Tasha Yar? You get +1 nerd point.
Yes.
There you go, +1. Some people don't even, I've talked to people who told me they were like hardcore Star Trek Next Gen fans. I'm a hardcore Star Trek Next Gen fan. And I've been like, blah, 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 Tasha Yar. And they go, who's that? And I'm like, I'll kill you. I'll straight up drop you right now. You're not a fan. You get away from me.
You're like, you're a fake fan. I can't believe you.
You've lost.
You can't know. Okay, you can't know everything.
You can't know everything.
My DMing is proof of that. that people don't know everything.
Nerdator Doug's attacking this from kind of a logistical standpoint. He said dump their AC speed and hit points to lower the CR, which is fine because they're already a pain in the butt.
Well, they're already AC 8, 20 speed.
What about?
Oh, because we were talking about making fast zombies.
Well, we'll make them slow.
Yeah, they're oozy.
We're mutable. We'll do whatever.
So what can regenerate? It cannot regrow limbs, right? Is that what we're saying? It can't regrow limbs?
What? What early sci-fi movie is the actress who played Tasha Yar in? I'm going to lose a nerd point here. I do not know the answer.
Either, sorry.
I don't know.
I feel like that's a piece of information I knew at one point. But it is.
I don't think I ever knew the answer to that.
All right. So are we talking? We're doing this regeneration. There's the choice of having it be where you chop it in half, basically, and you get 2 zombies. But we're saying no to that. We're saying that the limb tries to find its way back to its master.
Right. I like this idea. If we have the limb try and find its way back to the master, we limit the damage potential of it. We don't want a zombie still trying to bite you and 2 clawing arms coming after you. If the arms just turn around and head back to the body they were originally attached to, that takes away damage potential, lowers CR, and just adds creepiness, to be honest.
Okay, well, one of the things with the zombie is if it does lose an arm, I think it does lose a claw attack, but then that arm can claw you. Do you know what I mean? But I think the creepiness factor of it just trying to knit itself back together and over again
Yeah.
is pretty fierce. So I like going with that.
I would like the ooze left on the ground, like little globules of ooze, to still carry the infection.
Okay.
So literally, like you could have like a floor slicked in it, and have people walk through it and be like, you guys are walking along and you start to hear some weird sounds, so you feel kind of a warmth on your leg.
As
And
it's
you look down to check what you're feeling on your leg, and you come up with black ooze on your hand, and you notice that it's kind of expanding across your fingertips. So this would be like one of those situations where like, oh my God, that can't be good.
yeah, get it off of me, get it off of me.
Yeah.
So who said that you was against having it be like a secondary form of a ooze?
Well, I'm just saying insane, like almost no movement. It would just be like the movement on your finger
basically.
could be spreading out. Yeah.
It moves by growing in the direction of you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's consumed a layer of your skin. Congratulations. This is seriously scary stuff. Correction. Parasitic black ooze zombie plague. That's many words used together, and I can't be wrong.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
We make the magic happen.
So we're gonna do a little bold and say what we're gonna say? Black
Difficult terrain, ooze trail.
ooze.
Because Nerdator Doug said difficult terrain,
Plague.
and I like that.
Yeah.
It's slippery.
Yeah. Let's say difficult terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to just rip the grease spell?
Dude, yeah, great idea.
I'm opposed to raiding stuff out of nowhere. I wanna just grab something and.
If we have something usable we can steal from somewhere, steal it, embed it here. Now it's ours. This is called innovation, boys and girls.
Yes.
Or
nothing,
just
nothing new under the sun. I've
flagrant thievery, innovation. I don't know. The ooze needs to be lit on fire first to not be infectious. Agreed, Russet Man. Agreed. Light it on fire and it's done for. Burns really well, goes out really quick. Like lighten up a little bit of alcohol, just whoosh, gone.
There we go. Slick ooze covers the ground in a 10-foot square centered on a point within range.
Does anybody else see a guy in a spacesuit with a flamethrower trying to clear a hallway out? Keep moving forward.
So let's say if you just like pop one of these suckers with like Eldritch Blast and it's just like in pieces everywhere. That should leave like a black ooze patch. So
well,
we got like a 10-foot square centered on the point where it exploded.
Nerdator Doug has been campaigning for the concept of some kind of eruptive pokiness. Isn't there something you can poke with a sword that sprays its blood on you in this? I can't think of anything offhand. Chat.
It sounds like it's there's definitely an edition where that happens.
A gore pinata. There anything like that?
Spray their acid on you when you hit them?
There's got to be something.
I don't know now. Well, I mean, there can be variations to this. I mean, that's how you keep zombies interesting, you know? You give them a little bit of pizzazz every once in a while.
Digesters used to. Methods. You could have a ooze method. There you go. Nerder Doug. Again.
So do you want to make these pop when they die?
Well, we'll limit the range.
Okay.
So that it's more like it gives your games master a rule to use when it dies so that they can say this is where the goop is. Because you never know when some detail like that could become very important to how the player, if it's a 10 by 10 corridor and you just popped 20 of these things, you know, you're gonna need some way to deal with. Man, they have a lot of abilities.
Yeah,
Strat ain't got nothing on us.
I was just looking at this and like, this loathsome limbs. Okay, so one of the major features of the loathsome limbs, aside from the creep factor, is that the parts do have a little bit of speed. The arms can make attacks, but it's at disadvantage. So
I say get rid of the speed. Make them slow and
Well, no,
ponderous.
their speed's 5. It's pretty bad.
Oh,
It's pretty
you
bad.
meant a little bit of speed.
Yeah, I'm really a little bit of speed. The zombie limbs are very slow. So I don't see it as being. It's just like a lot of text. It's an intimidating amount of text for basically, hey, the limbs still move after you chop them off.
Yeah, there's
Here's
nothing
the rules
crazy
for it.
going on here.
So,
And this is definitely like flaming hand, like whoosh.
yeah, boom, take
Done.
care of it. Burning Hand's done. So the Black Ooze Plague, I'd say, is like when it pops. So like maybe we could say when you do a certain amount of damage, you basically have to deal with this ooze grease. And then we'll have to add some kind of infection thing to it.
Yes.
I think
And
we're
the
going to add that to
infection.
the bite and claw as well, aren't we? Or does it have to? The ooze have to be free of it to infect? Or does it like kind of ooze out of cracks in the hand and stuff?
Grapple. If the zombie grapples you, or one of the limbs grapples you, a hand, a foot, a leg is useless.
These aren't getting
But,
less
like,
scary.
Well, we want to make this functional, right?
Right.
A hallway covered in goo is terrifying, but if it can get a hold of you, like so a grapple attack.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm grabbing the vampire spawn bite and grapple.
Okay. All right.
Because the idea of it, basically you've got when you make a claw attack, I believe you can, instead of dealing damage, you can say they're grappled. Okay.
And we're going to have a secondary set of rules where we can talk about specifically details about the ooze, right? Because we're going to need this thing barfed. Ooh, I like the idea of it barfing. This thing grappled and infected something. And now that thing is also one of these ooze zombies. Is there a
I
space
think
where we can add that?
you're gonna have to do saving throws and all that kind of stuff. So
Well, we'll make it interesting.
we gotta work that out.
Don't you worry. We'll work it out. Working it out. Yeah.
All right. So the pluses to hit and all that need to get worked out. I've changed it to the bite and the claw, or the low damage that the original zombie thing was. We can keep it higher if we wanted to. But we're heading towards a type of vampire spawn territory at this point.
Vampire spawn? It's not a vampire spawn. It's a super oozy black zombie thing with scary blood.
Let's is that one?
Puke in the victim's mouth to infect them.
No.
Thank you, Andrew Jackson, for those solid nightmares. I appreciate that. Holy God.
No.
We're just going to keep it to the ooze kind of comes off their skin
And kind of goes onto them and
envelops.
maybe gets into their cuts or gets in their ear or something, like those worm bug things in a...
We had a very simple interpretation. Macer 200 said when you deal X piercing damage, ooze spurts out. Make a dex saving throw. Very simple.
I like that. Again, getting a little...
I think we need to
getting
define
bogged.
the ooze in its own space.
We're getting bogged down with this, the amount of abilities we've stuck on this.
No, it's not too many. We're just having trouble describing such a complicated and nefarious creature that everyone's going to want to use. Black ooze zombies, man.
So
Stay true to the vision.
when it grapples, okay, the target,
Yes.
it can, instead of biting it or doing damage to it
Yes.
I'm sorry, instead of biting it, it can like do an infect attack.
I agree.
Okay, where they're gonna have to make con saving throws, or do you think they should even make dex saving throws?
Just constitution saving throws, because they're already going to have to try and get out of the grapple.
Okay.
So just constitution saving throw at the end of every round where where someone's been successfully grappled. Done.
Okay. Now, are we talking when they fail the saving throw, they're going to take damage? I would think, like, let's say with this vampire bite attack, normally it's just, they bit you, you take the piercing damage, and then you also take the necrotic damage. And the necrotic damage is lowers your overall health. I think that should do it. It should do like necrotic or some kind of nastiness, acid or something that burns. So you've got like this negative health at that point, like lowered health, and if you hit 0, you're a infectious zombie.
I love it.
Okay.
Printed. Done.
All right, so we're gonna keep it very similar to the way the vampire stuff's worded. All we're gonna do is change like the little bits about it. Where we saying it's doing acid, or are we doing? I mean, necrotic. It is killing you, so it is pretty nasty.
No, I like necrotic damage, and nobody has resistance to it. So.
Except Bazimars.
Yeah, well.
And death clerics, and like a few other things, but not anybody else. Not too many people have resistance to it. So yes, I agree.
Macer 200, we're doing this so everything that has become an ooze zombie, so there wouldn't just be like human ooze zombie, there'd be everything that could be an ooze zombie. They would all have the special ooze that they could infect people with. And I have so many ideas. Okay, please continue.
Okay, this is not necessarily true. We could have it where freshly made things are more like minis, like not as powerful. Maybe they can't do an ooze infection because it's still kind of churning through their body. They're not like fully like oozed up.
First,
they still have some of the real blood in them.
Gross.
I'm just doing this. You like the science, the nitty gritty stuff. So just...
Okay, all right. You could. I think I want full blown rampaging, all hail Nurgle infection. That's just uncontrollable. I want everyone to be able to infect everyone, and like pandemic level infection when this stuff breaks out. This ooze zombie horde. You got that right, Andrew.
All right. I think this is looking pretty good. So it can grapple. It can claw if it wants to, or grapple. If it grapples, it can then do its ooze infection attack.
Okay.
And rather than it just do the straight necrotic, I'm going to say...
it does necrotic damage?
DC, like, 11-ish.
11-ish. Let's throw that in there. It's like life and death for someone down the road. And they're going to go back to just a gif of you going 11-ish. I don't know.
Or take an additional amount of damage, which is additional 7 damage, necrotic damage.
Okay.
Or take. Actually, it's not additional. It's additional damage, but it's not additional necrotic damage. So take that. And then that reduces its hit points. If its hit points reaches 0, bam, plague zombie.
Yeah, there we go.
Makes sense?
Okay. That makes sense. The template could be a super easy version of this.
Okay.
Is there somewhere we can put a template in? Because I'm essentially, the creature is going to get the ooze infection ability, the regeneration, and the wicked limbs or ghastly limbs or whatever.
Okay. So
and then slow it by half and cut its hit dice in half, something like
slow it by. Well, half is not true. It's more like a third.
Well, you could say that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the boss, you know.
The boss. Okay.
You're the boss.
So we're going to grab basically the ooze infection. You know what? First things first. Let's just save this.
Okay.
We save it. It becomes a thing. So people can find it later if they want. Plague zombie.
You could put it under layer. Oh.
Yeah. I got an idea for this. So
we should name it, because if someone types in a search, like add your name or something to the search. Just so that the search, you know what I'm saying? So it's easier. Or Nerdarchy, add that to the search so people can put that in and find it.
Monster Mash.
Monster Mash! Say it again.
Monster Mash.
Monster Mash!
Sunday.
So, Sunday.
We're going to take this, and if we had done it in reverse and tried to figure out the general plague, we could have added the general plague information as a block to the zombie plague creature. And you know what?
But I made things hard.
Yeah, I gotta call this like ooze zombie.
Oh, not ooze. There's tons of ooze zombies.
All right. Zombie plague beast.
It is
Unkillable zombie monster. Not your regular zombie.
necrotizing something. Necrotizing. Oh, I got nothing. Necrotizing. Oh, come on. I don't know.
Well, then why'd you say necrotizing?
Bile Buster. The Black Plague. We could literally name it the Black Plague and it would be totally fitting and totally silly. I'm in for that. What did you... I don't get to see it until the screen updates. What did you name it?
That's because you're not looking at the right chat.
Necromancy is good.
Yes, necromancy is awesome. Black Plague zombie. Okay, sorry, that was probably a little loud. All right, now we're going to say, go to RPG blocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's now there. The beauty is now there. And we can now create, I guess, what would be a monster? Would it be, I guess it's going to be a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a
I would
spell,
definitely
it's not
call
an
this
item.
a monster.
So we're going to create another monster. And we are going to say,
strictly speaking, a ton of stuff that we're going to get done in like Monster Mash and world building that's going to go up in World Anvil. You'll probably want to check it multiple times because the first iteration that goes up is going to be a loosey-goosey mess that we just got done during the stream. And, there'll be like vampire abilities listed and all kinds of stuff. So if you go search it and grab it day one, it's probably not going to be right. So a couple days later, it'll probably be right.
Infectious Ooze template. All right, that's what that's going to be. Challenge rating. I'm just going to put a 0 there because it doesn't really. We'll figure out what its rating is later.
Right.
Tiny is appropriate. Type ooze.
Mm-hmm.
And for this, I want to show you what the whole shenanigans is. So we're gonna say,
show me the whole shenanigans. I'm really interested.
Yeah,
right?
We're gonna say save. All right.
Okay.
And then I'll be able to do what I said earlier, which is grab this, and then open up another tab and go back to Black Plague Zombies. Edited it.
Edited it.
And then in actions down at the bottom here, I can hopefully put
ruin your day.
What would I call it? Infectious ooze?
Make you unhappy? Yes. Infectious ooze. This is the most exciting part for World Anvil for me, is getting to hit the finished button and see what it looks like. And then you immediately want to go back and change everything and figure out that's not right. That's not right. Oh God, why did I do that? And then you go back and you make it all better.
Let's take a look at our beauty here. So we've got Black Plague Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a terrible mess. So there's a little formatting that has to be done. It just doesn't magically do it itself. So I'll go back similar to how I would go back in Homebrew, and I'm going to adjust the massive block of text we have here.
Yeah, we have a brick of text. That is totally fixable. That's what the CSS and the BB code is for.
And it's just a little bit, and it takes care of it. And here we've got the block, but we don't have a link to it. I guess that's okay. So
you should be able to link to that.
Yeah, what we would go is we go into the reference here, and I want to link a block. So I'm going to
Plague Pinata. It really is. These would make awesome minions for a necromantic cleric of Jubilix. They would, but we are saying that strictly speaking, well, why not? Yeah. Maybe Jubilix gives you a divine favor. Here's a vial of black ooze. Put that in someone's food. Watch the magic.
Yeah, and then watch the magic happen.
If I had access to these kind of zombies, I would bring one to a bat cave, infect the entire colony, then bomb a city with my Black Plague bat zombies. Oh, Oh God, what have we done?
No. The horror.
Use them as siege ammo. Dark, dude.
Yikes.
So yeah, give us a day or two to finish editing on these once it's all done. Did you find the ability to link?
I think so. We'll
cool.
see if this happened.
Okay.
Like I said, still learning the process of it. Don't remember everything from it. So
there is a ton of stuff.
It's a work in progress. There we go. So you click on this, and Shazam, it takes you to the template.
Shazam. That's the word. Okay.
So when you do this, you can do this umpteen times. Just have a whole bunch of internal links, and it can really help you organize stuff that you're going to be doing, especially if you have multiple story arcs or multiple. Heck, if you know I'm going to have this monster, and then the next thing that they fight is going to be this other monster, you can actually link them in the way you build it and that structure, and then just bam, I'm done. I'm done looking at this monster. They've killed it. I'm just going to click the next link, and I'll be set up for the next part of my encounter. So here we say, well, when you infect somebody, what does the infectious ooze template look like? And that is what we're going to be checking out now, because right now we've just got tiny ooze and stuff. So what we're going to do is grab
all the awesome
from the Black Plague stuff.
Yes, so, and paste all the awesome into the ooze template.
Yes.
Delicious.
So one of the things it gets is ooze infection. Is one of the things the ooze template stuff gets. And I'm going to have to edit this.
I just imagine a town and then players on damage control trying to save people in that town and how they would go about fighting these. I see lots of torches getting pulled out.
Fire.
Yeah. Lots of. Your sword's awesome, but
to win.
I wouldn't run up and poke that thing if I were you.
Yeah. There we go. I'll grab this.
Hey.
And that's where all the magic happens. So,
Macer 200 said different ooze effects depending on the size of the creature. I really think with just the fact that, like, for instance, a larger creature is going to have an easier time grappling something. I think the ooze effect is kind of going to grow exponentially just based on, like, if a dragon tries to grapple you because it's been infected by ooze, you're going to have a bad day. You're going to have a bad day.
Now, we could say, I guess, what, -10 to speed?
Yes. It should be slowed down. It would be horrible looking. Oh.
What are we saying? Would lose charisma as well?
Yeah. You probably lose some charisma.
And would you become mindless, like you're, well, not mindless, but does the ooze gain the benefit of your higher functions, or is it just okay?
I vote you become int 2 or 3 or whatever the ooze is, int 1.
All right, so let's just lower this stuff down.
Yeah, just not a penalty, just you become int 1.
So those are basically your new stats, and then I would say whatever your strength, dex, and con.
Those can stay. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, these things are gnarly.
Yeah. So,
and if you're
good,
I mean, I definitely wouldn't. If you have some like way thin, super tiny creature like a kobold, get infected with black ooze, the kobold isn't really going to see there isn't any impactful change that you could make by changing its physical stats, unless you're specifically trying to say it's super strong or something like that.
Important, I think, to include the vulnerability to fire. You gain that.
Yes, very much so.
You also gain immunity to poison and the poison condition.
There have been so many references. Kyle Ellis just referenced it again. So many references to Venom's suit. And I love the idea that it looks like Venom's suit when it's infecting people.
That sounds really cool. All right. So I think this is pretty good. So let's take a little break from this. We're at the halfway point. Let's take a little break and move on to the
Wingless dragons. Wingless dragons, also called worm with a Y.
Wingless worms.
Y. The fire worm comes. That's what they say in 13. Yes. The fire worm comes.
Yes.
They're men. They're just men. Don't worry, little brother. There's more.
Oh, I think you've watched that a lot. It sounds.
The movies that I love, I've watched so many times. We can do line for line Gladiator real quick if you really want.
I think we're good to go.
We're good. We're good. You can stop.
We're good. Everything's just fine. So, is there a particular dragon we want to base this off
of? We are not. James Leslie said, so we're stealing a Behir. We are not stealing a Behir. So there are lots of questions, and this is where I really wanted to field things to chat. I want to feel things out with chat. If it's a dragon,
okay,
is it the same intelligence level as a dragon? Most people have dragons.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Gotta wash the ooze from my mind.
I thought we were done with that. We had a talk about clean transfer. Okay. Yeah. So,
what a Behir is a lightning snake dragon
lizard
thing
with many legs. If
Sounds
we're gonna,
cool.
Is the dragon still hyper intelligent like a normal dragon? If it doesn't have wings, why? Now we can just say it doesn't have wings because these things don't have wings, or we could have a reason, and I think the reason adds some fun.
Okay. Do you have? It sounds like you have a reason.
I'm just thinking there are all kinds of different directions you can go. You can go with a dragon. Mm-hmm. Now, if you were to take a breed of celestial dragon, right? We're going to take a bunch of gold dragons. And we're going to say these gold dragons were involved in an uprising against, I don't know, their deity or whatever you want to. We don't want to do it Forgotten Realms, so we can't use the dragon deities there, but we can use all kinds of things. These could be, because there are tons of storylines, like once there were giants and dragons, and the giants and dragons fought against each other.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When the giants
in Chimes of the Scordia like that, except it was dragons and their giant servitors versus mechs and other things. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, well, what if...
That's the story for another time.
If in a wartime situation where you're desperate for victory, sometimes you end up with super soldier stories, right? Mm-hmm. So what if these dragons are some inhuman experimented on creature that doesn't have wings anymore? Like they turn them into beasts of war. The giants can't fly, right? Uh-huh. So dragons versus giants. We could do something like that. We could say that these are like fallen celestial dragons
that have lost their wings.
Right. And instead of them being banished from some celestial plane, they were just banished to the prime material plane. Just there you go. You're done. That could change intelligence. That could have all kinds of effects on them.
What if they're not dragons that need wings to fly?
Okay. There is
etheric in nature or something.
There's the entire other side, which is Chinese lore, Japanese lore, especially, is Korean lore is dragons that are wingless and more like spirit based, like a river dragon, a lightning dragon, a mountain dragon,
wingless dragon.
Well, we could do that too. But I was thinking we could do some crazy banana stuff. That I don't know. I really fly off the handle with this creativity stuff. So,
what does chat say?
Yeah, chat says, Macer said, what website are they using? We are using World Anvil, sir. And you can just look up World Anvil online. Be easy to find. Aaron Parks question, lung dragons or more a Western style? Lincoln said, oh, that's not about the dragons. He just said we were entertained already. Andrew said wingless equals cursed by a god to never fly again. I like angsty dragons. That sounds cool. All right. Patrick Keller said, I just read a story. The dragons were beat by humans and driven into the caves over generations. Their wings shriveled and they couldn't handle sunlight. but then one discovered that he loved the ocean. See, that's what I'm talking. That's right there. Winner. There we go. James Leslie, make it burrow instead of fly. Kyle Ellis, it's a Komodo dragon styled dragon. Cool idea. Oh, Lincoln, breath attack or no breath attack? I vote we take away the breath attack and do something more fun.
Okay. What, like poison? Like poison bite?
I haven't decided.
Like a terrible poison bite? Like, what are those?
The Komodo dragons?
That bacteria bite?
Yes, bacteria. They have very thick saliva and loads of things living in their mouths. Thank you for that link, James Leslie. Yeah, so you could do something like that. You could even like extrapolate it. Maybe they have spines that are also gnarly, hollow, infectious, evil thing. We just go with a whole plague theme tonight. Just infect everyone with horrible diseases.
Oh, I just wanted the wingless dragons that would fly. Fly, little wingless dragons, fly.
We could do all kinds of things. You could do like crazy plate covered variants that look more like a bulette. I mean,
okay, let's start with the poisonous wingless dragon then.
Poisonous wingless dragon,
and maybe it swims in the sea or something, or it burrows. Maybe it has other modes of. I mean, if you didn't have wings, and you were like a long snake kind of thing, I could see it being able to burrow.
You'd look like all the pictures of medieval dragons. Or I guess I should say the old Germanic stories of dragons, where they were basically, a lot of them look like they took a picture of a walrus, added claws, and a big long snake to the front of it. I'll be totally honest. If you go look that old artwork up, it's...
Same people who thought up cockatrice.
Mm-hmm. Poison.
Or the basilisk with the chicken and the...
Well, there's just so many directions you could go with the wingless dragon.
Well, this is what I'm looking at for challenge rating.
Okay.
So something about that.
Challenge rating 8,000.
Yeah.
Right.
More like probably 15. to be
At some point, we need to have a 9,001 challenge rating creature and then give it stats that justify that challenge rating. Like
it'd be like a moon-sized wingless dragon.
1 million hit points.
It chews on whole entire continents.
Can you add 1,001 to the CR? Yeah, everybody went to over 9,000 immediately.
Yeah, well, someone was telling me at the Concoction in Cleveland that was a mistranslation. It is actually around 8,000. But I thought to myself, I don't know if that's true or not, but sure,
Stop
I'll go
stealing
with it.
my fun.
So I put 8,000 for that reason, to remind me to say something about it. Yeah. So suppose I don't know how true that is, but a very nerdy person told me that was the true thing.
A very nerdy person. I've met people like that before.
Nerds. Yeah, they remember Tasha Yar. Those kind of people.
That's thoroughbred right there. That's the real deal. Real nerds.
Real nerds. Okay. I really wish I remembered how to do it. Oh well.
Aura of corrosion. Its claws are going to need higher damage because it burrows. Maybe a rocky or metallic hide to up the armor class. A gaze attack to turn things into stone. I'm feeling most of that. I'm not sure I'm feeling the gaze attack. I really don't want this thing to have any reach out and kill people stuff like a normal dragon.
Yeah,
we want to delineate
in your face to do anything.
I want a rock'em sock'em dragon, something that's gonna be a real bad day for anyone involved.
So with most dragons, we're looking at they've got age categories. We gonna go with age categories, or is it just basically like hatchling, murder wraith?
I think they only have like 3 age categories in 5th edition. They kind of gutted the whole. If you guys remember AD&D Second Ed, there were age categories. There were stat lines for every single age category, spell list for age category. Now they're kind of like, it's a baby. It's not a baby. It's old. Like,
yeah.
So I don't.
So let's say the tiniest of the wingless dragons would probably be a large creature, you think? Or huge?
Man size.
Medium?
It's a baby.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Right? Am I crazy?
Yes. I mean, I can't make a challenge rating 15 then.
Ooh, God. Okay, James Leslie said, drop the gaze and give it a long tail that can constrict. Now we're getting somewhere. That's hot tamales.
I think it should be able to constrict with its body in general.
Ooh.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes, yes, this is good.
Full mad scientist happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I just imagine like it erupting out of the ground and someone being like, oh no, and it wrapping them up and ripping them back down in. Oh, that's amazing. If it burrows, an ability where the dragon burrows underneath the target, then bursts out underneath trying to eat the character. Yes, Mesa, you and me, buddy, right here. That's the stuff. Hey, Mr. L, how's it going, buddy? Chromatic or metallic. I like the idea. Chromatic's kind of been touched on. I like the idea of metallic, like the adamant worm. Insert fictional metal worm. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I just feel bad about failing on the last naming convention, so I'm trying to work hard here. Wingless dragon equals dune sandworm, making me want it to make it bigger.
Well, as of right now, it's got a bite, and I'm going to take a constriction power from a naga or a snake or something, I'm thinking.
Okay, that's an awesome idea.
So that is the bite from a red dragon, a wormling. And they are... What size are they? They're medium. So they're the size we're thinking about.
Paul Jamal, what's up, buddy?
So I'm going to grab a few more things from them and transfer those over.
Mithril, a mithril dragon. My brain immediately goes to the ecology of the creature and why is it being called that? And it makes me think of these I can't remember the name of the movie. Well,
it burrows for mithril.
Everybody does that. Everybody's always like, well, but it eats gems and it's a ruby monster and it eats. You know what I mean?
You are what you eat.
What if we? I have a comeback for that. What if it's just because of the color of it? That's really common with human creatures. We name real world human creatures. The aliens call everything something different. A common thing for real world is people will name things out of ridiculous characteristics. Its eyes, how long its tail is, how long its legs are, how big its belly is. Potbelly pig. So what if we just
water bear?
The water bear. Who even knows how it got that name? That thing is terrifying looking.
It looks like an 8-legged bear thing swimming around.
No, it looks like nightmare fuel. It is. If you've never Googled water bear,
maybe if it was medium size, it would be nightmare fuel.
Ooh, tremor sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's got to have tremor sense.
Ooh, Lincoln, the dark iron dragon.
Oh,
and it's just like the color, like a nice metallic color.
Oh, I almost put a flight speed in.
You're really stuck on it. I want it to fly.
So
we can make a variant.
So there's a thing. Kienata and I both agree. Burrow speeds are kind of ridiculous.
Yes, they are.
So I make it a point that if your base movement's 30, let's say, your burrow speed should be half. At most, at maximum.
I think less, unless you're magically moving through the earth. Nobody digs that fast.
Now, this place is magic, and we are talking about a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it may be wingless. But
I give it to the Bulette. I let the Bulette have its burrow speed of ridiculous, like full speed.
Well, yeah, because otherwise, how can it be like dun 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 dun? How can it be land shark if it's not? So I think a movement of 15 is appropriate because it's really, it's kind of like story driven. It's not. This isn't supposed to be a combat advantage. This is supposed to be the way it like burrows into the ground, the way it decided to move instead of because it doesn't have the ability to fly, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Raven, do not say things like that. He will think it's a good idea. That is absolutely unacceptable.
I've obviously got to look at chat.
That is, I will time you out. He said psionic flight. He already wants it to fly. And then you added psionics on just to sweeten the pot.
Yes.
That is absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, so for my wingless dragon, psionic flight sounds beautiful. Etheric, it'll be called etheric flight.
Lincoln has an interesting take on this. Ethereal movement through ground. My only problem with that, because it does sound awesome, is that it carries a bunch of other stipulations about what about when it's outside? What if it decides it just doesn't want to fight anymore? It wants to run away like a wild animal probably would. It's just going to whip back into the ground and then it's done. So have we decided if it's a snake or a lizard? Patrick Keller.
It is like a long-limbed dragon lizard. I mean, a long-bodied dragon lizard. It was a man.
So what we're going to do is
dragon.
not answer your question.
Okay, no, I want it to basically be similar style to like this more snake-looking dragons.
Mm-hmm.
But I still would like it to have limbs.
You can make the burrow thing scary if you make it silent instead of gnawing or digging its way through. He just digests the ground with neurotic bile. I'm sorry, he misspelled it and it's very funny. Necrotic bile from the mouth so the ground dissolves under your feet. That is a really, really crazy idea. It would also make it really tricky to hoard treasure. Yeah, absolutely. Russet Man said, so it's like a flightless Easter dragon that might be a little bit smaller. Appearance-wise, we hadn't really... This is if you ever feel like we might be flying by the seat of our pants and that we didn't really come up with anything ahead of time, that's because we are, and we didn't. This is on the spot creativity, so we don't actually know what it's going to look like.
Okay, well we did say we wanted the wingless dragon and
yes,
zombie plague. That was the limit of what we kind of planned ahead of time.
And then I threw in as many curveballs as possible at Nate.
Yes.
Especially while he's busy typing and can't fight back. That's prime time.
So what I would say is this is not necessarily the wingless dragon I want, but it's the wingless dragon we're going to get.
Oh, the complaining begins already. Here we are.
There's not psionic flight wingless dragon in the title, so that's the first problem.
Psionic, that has nothing to do with the creature we're working on.
The creature we're working on right now, yes, the wingless dragon that I don't necessarily like. So
I can't get the image of Onyx from Pokemon out of my mind.
All right, so major things: it's got a bite with some poison damage.
Yes,
and it has the power to constrict.
Oh, I love it.
And burrow. That's like its three major things that we've got worked on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we grabbed kind of bits and pieces from things rather than kind of stuck with one direction. And I basically used the wormling dragon for the bite and rather than fire its poison damage. But it doesn't seem significant amount of poison damage. So there's this thing that Naga can do.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's
you do you, brah.
Naga can spit poison. And they can spit poison like to 30 feet. But it's one creature, but it's a con save where you take 10d8 poison damage.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a significant amount. So
I think that's too much damage.
Or half as much on a failed save. So I'm saying the wormling version, I think we can tone that down. Still give the spit poison attack. It's not a poisonous gas breath weapon. It's just like basically hocking a loogie on you up to 30 feet away. And it burns with poison.
And it burns.
So I'm thinking I want to grab that because...
I have a question.
Yes?
What if it's paralytic poison instead?
No,
just a question.
No.
Don't freak out. You're not feeling it?
I cannot do it, no.
Okay,
no
all right.
Paralytic poison. You already
It already
them.
has... Yeah, that's where I was going. You got there.
I was headed there. So I'm gonna up its poison bite damage, and I'm gonna have this Hakalugi thing. And let's say because it's let's say this is
Hakalugi.
yes, Haka poison
Mold
Lugi. So the spit poison, let's say it's currently 10d8, but this critter is not that impressive. So I'm gonna say it's 3. The next tier up will be 7, and then the final adult
Uber
one will be the 10d8.
Uber snake monster.
So what I'm also gonna do is change this to 3d8. Yay, nay?
First Watch 328 has an idea that I'm kind of knocking around in my brain.
Okay.
That I kind of think is pretty cool.
All right.
It's old AD&D style once a day. Meld with stone. In this case, it would just be earth. Just a once a day. And that could be the kind of thing where maybe this is how the creature sleeps. Maybe it's not a big horde collector, something like you go into the empty cave and there's nothing in there. And then the ethereal creature slowly phases out of the wall and you realize you're about to have a really bad day.
I just got the image of death.
Yeah.
All right. What about... that kind of gave me the idea that it could just have that ability. And maybe there's other types that do it with other things, meld into other things. Then I started going elemental spirit dragon direction.
Well, wait. No, that's not a bad direction. If this one has, what if we characterize each one of these? So he's got spit, constriction, and meld with earth. Then if you want a flying one, we could have one that would have gaseous form, some other ability, and it can fly.
Psionically?
You could have one. You could have not psionically. Why in God's name?
So, are we saying is this an at-will power? Meld with stone for this guy?
My problem with at-will is that doesn't I don't like creating creatures that players don't have some kind of process they can go through to try and beat the thing.
Yeah.
If they don't have a process, then you essentially hand the GM the ability to say, well, I'm having a bad night and I don't feel good tonight. Meld with stone, it got away. You know what I mean?
Thrice a day.
Thrice? Because you said thrice, I'm in.
Okay.
That's the only reason. Thrice a day. It melds with the earth around it.
Okay, cool. Now I'll have to keep that for later. Okay, remember to say thrice.
We've got a bunch of people. I remember to say thrice. Instantly win that one. James Leslie, yeah, that's kind of the direction I was thinking. James was thinking if it's paralytic poison, then it can swallow small creatures whole next round. I was kind of thinking that, but it can constrict, so it can just and swallow you whole next round.
Yeah, right after you're dead, it can eat you.
Yeah.
I mean,
delicious.
Once you're at 0, it can then bite
Slowly
you one last
time.
You take poison damage, you're probably dead, and then
spend some time in the Starlight stomach.
Yeah. Like the mini mobile one.
Oh, Lincoln has a great idea. Make it a longer cast time. It's meld with earth. If it takes a minute, well, not a real minute, but if it takes longer than a single action, we put a restriction on it that doesn't turn it into, I'll just throw this ability out just to be a beehole.
Wait, what are we saying here? So meld with stone's an action, and the duration is 8 hours.
This thing can meld with stone, but it takes thrice actions. Victory!
So are we going to say, well, I mean, I think if we said it's a full round, it's all of your actions to do it. That's pretty significant.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I'm down.
You can't do a bonus, you can't do a reaction, you can't do
anything. That's what it's doing, is melding into earth.
Yeah. So, I mean,
casting time is 1 full round. Period.
Okay. I'm fine with that. That way it's not a I got out of jail free. I mean, I got out of death.
I just don't like the idea that if I'm fighting this thing as a player and the GM keeps it with us and we fight it the whole time and kill it, the whole time in my brain, I'm going to go, when is it going to try and run away? This thing should definitely try and run away. It has like 10 hit points left. It's bleeding everywhere. It should probably be trying to meld with stone. If he never has it meld with stone, I'm going to feel kind of robbed because it should have tried to run and I should have been able to get it right before it got away.
All right.
I tried to.
I'll look back for the exact terminology for that later.
If you guys want to know something cool about Nate in the Spelljammer campaign, I tried to get him to do a voice because I was going to do a voice for it. And I tried to get him to do like a bug thing. I don't think he's going to do it.
No. My guy's got telepathy. He doesn't talk with a bug accent with telepathy. It's like that Aliens in Independence Day. They didn't talk with an alien accent.
She has a super clear English accent when he speaks mentally.
Yeah, it's like total proper English. Well, it's I guess whatever the person would envision as like a type of telepathy going to, like, you know, out to you. It's in your language, you know. Everything works out just fine. Telepathy's a little hard to explain.
Mr. L wants to have rings of teeth like a leech. Gross, dude.
I like that. Scary That's pretty stuff. Cool sounding.
I'm more because that defines what its jaw line is going to look like. I kind of like the idea of rows of teeth, maybe like a shark. Like these puppies are recycling.
I like the rows of teeth aspect, especially if it's using parts of its mouth or anything to punch through or get through gravel and dirt.
James Leslie said, "Make the bug Irish, Nate." Ireland. What if when you dig through the ground, it sloughs off bits of its skin, seeding the ground with zombie spawn? Whoa, dude. Okay, that's a new direction. We're headed this way.
Don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
At least not yet. We haven't done the template with the winged dragon template zombie.
Russet Man asks, would these dragons be linked with the elemental planes a little bit? With making it clearly defined versions that have some form of elemental background. I don't know if you'd need a direct link to the elemental plane. You could kind of just say they just kind of represent the element. They could be like more primal. I don't know. What do you think, Nate?
Well, I was thinking if we go with this one's melding into stone, it's got poison, it's got melt into stone. We could have ones that have the ability for like water breathing and swimming instead of burrowing. So this could be kind of elemental in nature. And then, and then we could move on to something that's going to be more of, we could have the ones that actually fly because they're outside of the normal material plane. Do you know what I mean? Possibly in space.
No in space.
D&D in space. Doug, I hope Doug's picking up what I'm putting down.
I don't want to run into any of this stuff when we play in that campaign. I would prefer
watch Etheric wingless dragons that are now infected with ooze zombie plague.
We see any black ooze on the ground during the campaign, I'm bailing.
Fire.
Straight up. I'll be like, I go get a torch.
Yeah. How much money do I have to pay Doug right now to have Nerdarchy flamethrower show up?
You got a drop off. It's a care package. A flamethrower. Enjoy.
Someone out there really likes me.
I do like the direction Russet Man was going with this. He said the water one could be really slimy, like a hagfish.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because this one's kind of the dark iron. So it's like its hide is scales. I think the dark iron worm, W-Y-R, dark iron worm, W-Y-R-M.
I got it.
Would be perfect. Thank you. Words are super hard right now. Paul Jamal, yes, there is. Basically what we did is we made these Black Plague zombies that have ooze, and the ooze can infect anything and make it into a zombie because we also made an ooze template. So this black evil ooze turns other things into black ooze zombies. So now we're working on these wingless dragons. And if you want to, you can take our wingless dragon, apply a black ooze template and make it really horrifying. The really messed up thing that I just realized, Nate?
What's that?
This is the most. This is okay. How did the zombies infect people?
They
A
grab
grapple
them and,
attack.
yeah, and then kind of.
And what did we make the earthworm?
Oh, constrictor.
It's a constrictor. We're literally
like,
setting everyone up for failure.
This is perfect. It's like I should just take them and put them together now. All right.
Why would you template that?
Template this. So we've got our dark worm dragon. Basically, it's like a souped up red. It's a little bit longer. It's got a meld with stone casting of a full turn. I'm going to have to work on the lingo for that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I know there's some things that take a bit to cast, but they don't take like a minute. I forget what it's called. So I'll have to look that terminology up. But it's longer than just a single action. And then we've got the bite attack, which is going to do some poison because of its small. It's a small like wormling. It does have a burrow speed. It's going to also have the constriction attack, and it also has the kind of like spit poison attack where it can hit one target with its normal poison damage that it would normally get from biting them.
We inadvertently made this thing terrifying. So what happens when it's a zombie and it tries to spit poison? Does it spit black ooze instead?
Let's find out. So we are going to... I think I can make a copy of this Mamba Jamba here.
Yeah, we should just make a copy and edit to fit the next thing we need. Which, do you want to do the super awesome flying one next? That does not fly psionically. It flies through some other means that are not psionics. Or you really wanted a flying dragon?
Of course it did.
And I really wanted wingless dragons. Everybody's happy.
Wait. How is everybody? I don't have psionic flying dragons yet. So we're going to grab all the goodies from this guy. And we're going to head on over to make a new one.
Okay. All right. And what's the theme, the element, the concept behind this one? This is the flyer or the swimmer?
Oh, we're not making the infectious zombie yet?
Oh, no, we can. I thought we already made an infectious zombie.
I'm infectious wingless dragon zombie thing. Oh,
we can make an infectious wingless. I thought we were going to go into we made the template. People can grab the template and the dragons.
Okay. All right.
It's true. So we can just.
Okay. So let us, if everyone's cool with this, we have in fact made a template for the ooze zombie thing. We have in fact made a wingless dragon. And at any time that you want to bring those two things together, go right ahead. And you've got your wingless dragon plague zombie.
Of Doom.
Yes, of Doom. So yeah, let's branch out and see what we can get out of these spirit things, these spirit dragons.
Yeah, I think, and we have the two easy options would be swimmer, and I love the hagfish concept. Instead of a spit, maybe it has like some goop on it that if you touch it, and then the flyer.
Really small. It's kind of got like a sheeny coat to it, but it also has tiny hairs. That, when you touch them, they break off on you. And
that's like a tarantula. That's super sketchy and scary.
There's also these like little, I don't know, sea caterpillars or whatever the heck they're called that you grab them and it's like your
sea
hands on
slugs.
Fire. Yeah, I think it's a spiny sea slug or something. It's really terribly poisonous. There are poisonous sea slugs. There are poisonous sea urchins.
Well,
this one I think moves, and
this moves. They all move.
Yeah, it's like a spiny centipede in the water. Is what I got out of it.
It's a lot of stuff that lives in the water.
That's terrible. Yes, that are terrible things.
It's not all good.
So, what are we going to call this one? Just for right now, we're just going to say water wingless dragon.
Sea cucumber. There are some guesses coming out.
Sea cucumber.
Sea cucumbers just barf on you though. And then you're like, oh god.
So we're gonna make the medium sissy one.
The medium sissy one?
Yeah.
And this is the water wingless dragon. Okay, chat, that's your cue to come up with a better name.
Yes. This is just to remind us what we're working on. Okay. And it's like slimy, and it's got some maybe fine hairs, fine spines. That just sounds weird. Fine spines. That.
Fine spine. So this is going to be the water version of our crazy dragon creatures. And it's going to have fine spines and be slimy like a fish. And we have to give it some form of interesting. So the other one, the earth one, can constrict. Is probably needs to have a higher armor class. It can meld with earth.
Well,
this thing,
that one has a 17, the earth one, so we could probably mess around with it a bit.
What is just a crazy fast swim speed? This thing is just a barracuda in the water.
So we saying like what, 50?
Is that motorboating?
Pretty fast. I don't know. Let's look up a shark. I think a reef shark's 40. But
so faster than a reef shark for sure.
Let's look up the sharks. And that'll give us an idea of swim speed.
I like cool spaceships. Maw of the defining landscape feature here. Mr. L breathes the water in and makes a hydraulic push attack. That's very interesting.
I like that. So the sharks are 50. So let's go with 50. Sharks are fast.
Sharks are fast. And this thing's huge to still be that fast.
Well, it means medium. So I'm going to say it doesn't have a poison spit attack.
No poison spit. We have to do something better for this one.
Yep. We'll do something more appropriate.
What's more appropriate, folks? Ooh, here we go. Russet Man said something I've done with slimy creatures is having a strength check when melee attacks hit it. On a failed save, their weapon is stuck to the slime. Kind of a cool idea.
I was thinking more of like corrosive Bernie than sticky.
Corrosive Bernie enough to damage a melee weapon, and I'm in.
Well, kind of like what, Rust Monster style?
Oh, yeah. Like just wreck you, corrosive.
I kind of like this. Water, corrosion. I'm digging this.
Okay, cool.
Let's look up our oxide monster. I think that's what's that like?
Monster? Oh yeah, and the SRD, it's like an oxidation monster or something.
Oxidation beast. I know. Sometimes it's
when all the good names are taken. Make it like a
horror for if it's not taken.
Have you ever seen the mouth on a goblin shark?
Oh man, those things are
that goes chompy.
Yeah, that's some nasty there, right?
What if it has some like crazy chompy bite that's all goblin sharky? I don't know how you'd express that though. Crazy goblin sharky bite. Bold. Done.
It would just be a bite that does a lot of damage. doesn't transfer well into D&D, you know what I'm saying? We need a 3D modeler and $50 million. We're going to give you your goblin shark bitey dragon thing. Done. We've got all kinds of concepts coming in. Rust Dragon. Is there a reduction monster? Could apply sleep effects to the person who comes in contact with it. It has like a stench breath attack or like one of the Tarask ability. If Tarask is in the sentence, we're probably not going to add it in because that thing's made to not be beaten. Reach weapon bite attack. What about that? Well, that would be like if let's say it had like a strike through the water.
Yeah.
So it almost like
well, that's to emulate the goblin shark.
Kind of.
Well, but then
I think a 10-foot reach. We could do 10-foot reach for its attack.
Extra bitey alien mouth.
Yeah, let's signify that with a 10-foot reach.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Kyle Ellis multi-attack makes 2 bite attacks against a single target. The second bite only hits if the first one connects, and that would be the double jaw. That's also a good idea for emulating that. Right? It just makes me think of aliens. But that is an excellent way to emulate that. Oh, when he does the breath attack, he releases his progeny on you to feed. Oh, a mouth breeder, like a cichlid. There are a bunch of different species of cichlid you in your pet stores. They're like Jack Dempsey's and stuff like that. They keep all their babies in their mouth, and then when they're swimming around,
let them loose.
They'll spit all their babies out.
In a cloud of little munchy creatures.
Can you imagine being under the water? It already bit you on the leg once. You're trying to get back to the surface, but you're so turned around you can't tell where up and down is. And then you turn to see this thing open its mouth and all these little chompy babies come out. Sleep tight, everyone.
Swimming in the fantasy oceans, not even once. Not even once. Exactly. I don't care what treasures down there. I don't care what god weapons are betrayed to be found to save the world. I ain't going in that.
I think that's an excellent idea.
I like the terribleness of the
I'm not too keen on the idea of this thing having hundreds of babies at a time, though.
No, I'm not. Maybe that's why a lot of them don't reach maturity, because they die in breath weapon attacks.
Yeah, and sometimes with the cichlids, they're like, man, I haven't eaten in days. I'm just going to eat these babies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sometimes they eat their brood.
Huh. I guess if they have enough of them.
Wild animals do stuff like that all the time. It's always mind-boggling. 4 cubs were born. She ate 3, but one's very healthy. Okay, well, that's a dark story. I don't care how healthy the other one is. 3 were eaten. Ink Cloud. That's another cool, interesting ability. All right, so what have we given it? We've given it fast speed in the water instead of melding into earth. We gave it a chompy bite.
Yeah, so
instead of
it's
constriction.
It's going to have stuff like I can breathe underwater as part of its thing.
It's got goopy skin or spiny skin instead of the spit. I feel like it needs something else.
I think the goopy rusting stuff
is pretty hardcore,
and it still has constriction, right? Is that like a theme where we're giving them all constriction?
Yeah. You know what? I think that's a great idea. I think give it constriction, especially considering what's on its skin.
Yes.
Your plate mail is now useless, but at least you won't be sinking anymore. You could have a clingy tar. It kind of already has that as far as the skin. Go ahead.
Well, and as a little note, just like when you're doing World Anvil at any time, you can be like, well, I want to be able to roll this later. So.
Oh yeah, that's really important and an awesome feature. That way, if you're running a game on like your Surface or whatever you're using, that's all I could think of was a Surface. I had like 3 examples.
Streaming online.
And then they were all gone. Or you're streaming online or in game online. I can't believe it. It's just blank. Anyway, if you're running your game, you literally, instead of rolling a dice, can just go click and it rolled for you. And now you know what you got and you can tell the players what happened. Done.
And if you were to make your character in this, which you can, we're just doing monsters instead. Maybe we'll do that for Friday. I don't know. We haven't decided what Friday's going to be. But
Friday is going to be Fallout. After all of our characters are killed by the vicious games master, Doug Vahovic.
From all the things that we fed him on Thursday night.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to murder us with Black Zombie Plague. And we're going to talk about the new characters we're going to roll up.
No. You're going to have to figure out how to safely process it and store it and add it as a spice.
I believe this is going to be an incredible dish once I can learn how to properly process this in order to turn it into a nice, clean spice.
It needs to be spread out, dried a little bit, and then lightly baked. And then it ground up, and then you can... And then no longer carries the plague.
I am. I'm actually going to have...
Some people get salmonella poisoning when something's not done right. This gives you zombie plague.
This is like the most hardcore version of eating a blowfish.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like, this is like upping the ante on blowfish eating. That's for
if I got that wrong, you'll turn into a zombie. You have a good meal.
Yeah, enjoy yourself. I'm an expert chef. Don't worry about it.
Kyle Ellis said magnesium dragon since it reacts in water, which is funny because magnesium burns underwater, which is cool.
Yes.
Russell Man said, I'm thinking of monsters that burst into bunches of baby monsters when slain. Think of fighting a gargantuan spider that bursts into hundreds of medium-sized spider babies when slain. I have a very specific use case for that. When I was younger, playing Spelljammer with a bunch of kids who were older than me in high school, I attacked a Neogi. Even though everyone told me not to do this, Neogis are huge, spider-like, disgusting creatures, and the great old ones are really gigantic versions. And when they have babies, essentially all the baby Neogi eat their way out. So I attacked the great old one and ruptured it, and baby Neogi came out. Whoa. And that is why I never wanted to play Spelljammer again. But here I am, nightmares in hand, ready to play.
You'll do just fine.
An anchor-like tail for a whip attack. That's Kyle Ellis. Mud Pie maybe have magical fire that comes out around it in an ink-like cloud. Oh, yeah, we already processed the ink cloud. I think my thing is, I think with the rust monster-esque exterior on this thing, I think it's already incredibly bad and incredibly intimidating.
Yeah, I've been kind of holding back from adding anything else to it because one of the things with monster creation, you gotta eventually say, I can't put any more on this or it's gonna look kind of like a mess. And I feel like for what I was looking at for the Wingless Dragon series, I think it's Rust Monster Slime, it's acidic damage. I'm going to add some acidic damage when it gets grappled.
Engineering quote. To a pessimist, the cup is half empty. To an optimist, the cup is half full. And to an engineer, the cup is twice as big as it needs to be. So we're engineering.
Yeah, we're engineering. So I would say that I want to hold off on adding anything else to this. We've got its like rusty whisker stuff. We've got its just rusting metal ability in general when it gets struck by things. We've got its acid damage with its bite. We've got its acid damage when it constricts. Actually, I think I'm going to up that a little bit. Let's do some 2d6 happening here. And there we go.
It's beautiful.
I think that's good. I think that's a good go.
If we go insanely fast, we might be able to squeeze in the flying one.
We gotta name this. This can't.
Oh God,
this water wingless dragon can't stand.
I totally forgot about that insanely bad naming convention. Okay, cool name machine, aka chat. Go. We'll give them a minute. Give them a second. Give them a fighting chance to get in here. It's not a dragon. It's a worm. The fire worm.
Okay. Rust the magic worm. How about that?
You need to stop. Do you see what's happening, people? If you don't help.
I'm encouraging everyone to work the magic.
For just cents a day, you could help Nate not make up terrible names. Give now.
Yes, I will definitely get paid to not make up terrible names.
We're doing a drinking game. I don't drink, so you guys have fun, and I'll make fun of you while you're wildly drunk. Mud Pie said Aquarius Draconi. Rough the not good day. I need better. I need more. I need more. Oxide worm. Okay, you guys are done. You guys are done. That's it. Oxide worm. The oxide worm is coming. What does that mean? Who is this woman? What about just like decay worm? Ferrous?
Ferric. It's kind of iron.
Ferric? What?
It's a type of iron, like
what?
You have ferric oxide.
What?
Ferrous oxide.
So oxidium.
Rusty. The ferric worm sounds pretty cool.
Rusty the oxide worm.
There, Etheric. There we go. It's getting.
Red.
It's not getting better.
You don't make things better without color. Okay, all right.
I'm hitting the save button. Moving on.
We're done. We're done. We lost our opportunity. You guys could have saved me from this, and you did. Heartbroken. Okay, now we're stuck with it. Oh God, there's gonna be a red ferric worm for all time now.
No, just Etheric.
Ferric. Ferric. Whatever that means.
Who knows? In the tags.
Comrade was nice and spoke up for you. He said, well, Nate's not wrong.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. L wants the chartreuse worm.
So look at its glory, the Etheric worm. Look at its gloriousness. And boom. Rolling some dice.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, we are to the last like 8 or 9 minutes of this.
We
2
are.
hours, almost 2 hours have passed, like the wink of an eye. At least 10 winks, but you know. So I would love to make my Sonic Etheric Dragon. I don't know if I can squeeze it in fast enough. Let's see.
I will completely back away and let you take the reins. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna inject myself the whole time.
All over the place.
I'm gonna make this as hard as possible. You're never gonna make the mark.
No.
Why psionic though? Flies with its mind.
All right, this one. There we go. What do you think?
Does it have a dog-like face?
Maybe it flies with happy thoughts.
Is its name Falcor?
Maybe it loves to laugh.
Here we go.
Maybe it's the arch enemy of the nothing.
Etheric worm. This one gets a cool name. The one we're not going to have time to finish gets a cool name.
What are you talking about? Oh no, what did I do? I'm going to type like mad. It's been made already, see? Look at that. See, I told you it was done. Behold, I'm already finished.
Kyle Ellis said all bards in my setting are psionics, not arcane casters.
Nice.
I just took the bard and I said, you don't have to have a magic instrument, like a musical instrument. You could like sing, or you could be like a great orator and just speak. It could be like you just have like you're like a barbarian bard and you just have really cool war cries. So yeah. James Leslie said, if it sprinkles itself with pixie dust, I'm out.
None of that stuff. I'm looking at the aboleth for inspiration. Let's see what this guy's got.
The arch enemy of the Order of the Rusty Spork. Macer's got some cool ideas. The Etheric Dragon gains AC by levitating strong materials around it as armor. Could be interesting to do something like that.
So,
Cloud giants can turn clouds into rock solid material.
really?
Powers. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's what it sounds like when they're doing it. You walk by a cloud giant, all you hear is that noise. That's not canon. Just in
I
case
didn't think it was.
anyone is.
They've got telekinesis though.
They
So,
do.
I would say I kind of like these
Mind
powers
bullets?
and stuff. Okay, I've got a place to start. We're going to start with its special abilities, and it's going to get some spells. And don't worry, these are not all at once. There's not all.
You're just gonna give it like a million abilities, aren't you?
This is not all once per day. I mean, all.
This is what happens.
No. Look, I'm fixing it.
No.
I'm
It's
fixing
too
it.
late.
This is
The
totally,
damage is done.
This
Look
is
at
totally
this.
legit.
The first two had normal abilities. Now this one's psionic, and lo and behold, it's got a page of abilities.
No, that's not true.
It's a miracle.
So no.
Can
I looked at Cloud Giant and I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
So I think if it has these kind of abilities like a Cloud Giant, Cloud Giants are totally legit and fine.
We have these two like low tempo worm creatures, and then this one, Cloud Giant, is totally cool.
Well,
And it's
okay.
psionics.
It's not going to have any of its attack. I'm going to go back to the constriction and stuff like that. So it's special
Somebody has
thing.
to be around to
It's-
keep him in check.
It's special
These
thing.
things get out of control.
All I'm saying is that its special ability is going to be that it's got these spell-like abilities that let it fly and things. That's it. And then I'm just going to take the bite attack and everything from the worm. And
Kyle Ellis said we should have done the psionic one first so the others would have been compared to it. That way we could have established a power level before we started working on the other one.
Fools.
Pet Shop just got in here. What are you using for your mobs? We are using World Anvil. Q James Leslie, go! Let's see how quick he is. It takes a minute from stream delay.
So World Anvil is a place that you can build all your kind of cool things, and you can also organize things. We touched how to make monsters. There's a lot of stuff you can do with World Anvil. So
right, we're using 10% of the human brain right now. This is a tiny amount of what World Anvil can do.
Yeah. The cool thing that I will get to eventually with world building is it has a timeline, like a master timeline. You can link all kinds of stuff to.
Oh,
and you can have concurrent timelines. So it's it's a pretty big feature to it, based on a person that, like me personally, I'm going to be doing campaign design.
And if there is some concept you have for how you'd like to do world building, or how you'd like to kind of constitute your setting or your realm or your campaign setting or whatever, you can probably use World Anvil regardless of what your needs are. You could probably adapt whatever's available in World Anvil because there's so much to be what you need. And that's, I mean, we were attracted to it right out of the gate. It can just do so. I mean, look at this. Fill in some boxes, call it done. We got one more monster done tonight than we've ever gotten done. Well, we might have it done. Apparently it's got psionics, all the abilities of a cloud giant, 300 hit dice.
Look, it's got the same exact hit points that the dark iron worm has.
But it's okay because it's psionics.
It's got the same amount of hit points. Oh, this is like my misunderstood fungus monsters all over again.
No, they are not misunderstood. Ember Shade Innkeeper said hello, Nate, and hello, Kienata. Hello,
hey, Ember Shade. It's nice to see you. Well, read text from you on the internet.
That's exactly what we're talking about, Pet Shop. This gives you a way to organize all of your, like, I have piles. I could show you stacks of paper right now that are worlds for me that are all just going to go in here because why not? And you can crank them out as PDFs. If you're worried you're not going to have a permanent copy, if you're worried that the materials you create here are going to hang out on the internet forever and you'll never be able to put them in your personal collection, that is not a concern. You can crank everything out as PDFs and have it somewhere safe for the future. So
I'm going to actually do the actions section, how I would like it to look, to give you an idea of what it can look like when it's actually finished instead of that big block of text that we had previously.
Yeah, man.
So it has a bite similar to all the other ones' bites. It's got a constriction similar to all the other ones, except it does not do any additional damage. What it has instead is it just has these abilities to fly and do a few other spells. That's it. So no extra damage, no rust monster or doom stuff, no burrowing acid spit in your face stuff.
But what are the spells?
It has Featherfall fly. Okay. You could say telekinesis might be able to be used as an attack.
Featherfall is super OP, man.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Super
especially 3 times a day. Misty
that
stuff?
many?
Misty
Oh
stuff.
my god. It's Falcor. He made Falcor. Let's go!
I made an etheric dragon that may or may not resemble a mythical dragon. A lucky mythical
Scratch
dragon.
it behind the ear. Oh, a luck dragon.
Perhaps a lucky dragon.
Is there luck dragon stats somewhere? Because man, that's something we should make. Like for real. Just we're gonna make Falcor. At some point, I'm writing it down. At some point, we're making Falcor. Mission. New thing to do. Make Falcor. Make Falcor. And you're only allowed to use them as a GM if you can do the Falcor laugh.
Oh, all right.
Rule. Can you do the Falcor laugh? Then get out. No.
I need a GM who can do this. All right. Hopefully I did this correct. It looks like it. Check it out. See? So that is...
Mr. L brings up a rather good point. An intelligent point, even. With Int 11, he risks being dominated by the people he connects to mentally.
Okay. So this is not a psionic attack dragon. It happens to have powers, and they happen to be like things that allow it to move, and it's not magic based. That's all. It's not intellect devouring people. It's not mind spiking people.
Summon Mind Flayer once a day.
Exactly. It doesn't have that power right now. So that's
right
just...
now. What did you just say?
And that is just it. And we're done. We started at 9:01. We are ending at 11:01. I think I finished my dragon. Synopsis.
Okay. What did we make tonight? What did we do?
So we made a wingless worm. We made actually 3 of them. The dark iron one, which burrows and has acid. Well, spits poison and can bite for poison. We made the water one, which we did not think up a good name, I don't think, for that. The Etheric worm that swims.
Terrible name.
And has a coating on it, an acidic coating on it that rusts metal. Then we have the Etheric worm, which is the only wingless worm that flies.
Overpowered.
And has some spell-like abilities that could ruin your game, like control weather. And it can constrict and bite, but doesn't have the poison or anything like that of the other worms, and has the same amount of hit points. So back up off me. and we also made a terrible thing that we shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to it. We made a black plague zombie.
Yeah.
And we also made an infectious ooze template that allows you to make whatever type of terrible black plague zombie you would like. And I have to prettify this up, but
we're gonna so everything, if you guys go search on World Anvil and try and find the stuff we worked on tonight, it will be there, correct? We didn't privatize any of this.
I did not make it private, but I might have to look and see setting wise. But there, as you can see you can't see at the bottom, but there is like a post to Tumblr, share, or tweet this. And I think there's ways to voting on it or something. I don't know that yet. We'll figure that out. But basically, there's ways of saying like, oh, I like this on Word Anvil or something, and I'm interested in seeing more. Like, so I guess basically like on what people like, what people dislike, we can kind of get an idea of, how to use this and utilize it, as well as kind of, have a resource for the community people can go back to and grab some things from. Anything you like that?
Give us a few days so we can get back into it and make you the non-work in progress version and get them all prettied up. Yes. And if you don't see the prettied up versions come up extremely quickly, you have my blessing to get on Discord and hound Nate relentlessly to get it done.
That guy. You can do that guy. Yeah. And you can join myself, Kienata, Megan R. Miller, an author on Nerdarchy, Doug, the Nerditor-in-Chief over at nerdarchy.com, Ben from Puffin Forest, and Anthony Amato from Cardboard Fortress. Tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern Standard Time for our D&D in Space.
Spelljammer!
With our cool crew on a Spelljammer. So with that, until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.